my own background is actually engineering, so I studied engineering physics here at the Aalto University in Helsinki. But I've been playing with computers pretty much all my life, so I'd say I'm very much an engineer. That's my background, and then I did MBA at Stanford 2003 in the US, but engineer by heart and engineer by DNA. Yeah, well, my talk was about company culture, which I do have to confess that it does not come, or it did not come to me naturally. As an engineer, I really always thought that you can solve any problem with spreadsheets and math, including managing people. But over the years, and particularly over the last 8 years while scaling Truly, I've learned to know and appreciate the value and importance of company culture and how you have to start building it consciously from the very, very first day onward. So I talked about that, some of the challenges and some of the victories about building company culture, and it's now it's a topic close to my heart, so I really like it.
So, if you put the main points together, how do you build a good culture in a company?
Well, I think that the number one thing, the most important thing is whether you consciously build it or not, you will have a company culture. So that's the number one thing to realize that your company culture will form from the very first day onwards. And consequently, it's worth consciously thinking about what do you want your culture to be. So that's one. Two, um, it is thousands of times more powerful what you do and what you say as opposed to what you write on your cultures and value statement. So all the employees, co-founders, everyone else is watching every single step that the founder or founders are taking, whether you want it or not. And that largely defines what your company will be. And then in terms of benefits, the way I think of culture is simply your culture defines what your employees do when nobody's watching. And secondly, it's sort of like an immune system of a body that protects the organization against external shocks, whether there's a new competitor or markets crash. If you have a strong culture, it is like an immune system against the viruses and the bacteria going around in the external world. Yeah, so this is really the data point of one for me because this is the first Slush that I'm participating. But I see a huge amount of energy, both by the participants, the entrepreneurs, the companies, as well as from the media and sort of the people covering the event. So very positive experience. The fact that we had the prime minister of the country opening up the conference was really fantastic. And in fact, because Finns and Swedes are always rivals, I have to mention this, that one Swedish investor from Stockholm said to me that he could not believe, or he cannot see that a Swedish prime minister would participate in a startup conference in Sweden. So as a Finn, that made me feel pretty good, and I think it's yet another sign that this has been a very, very successful event.